Hey everyone, this is Dave Thompson, founder of the TenderHood. This is Mo Devereaux. She's in charge of product strategy.
Radio.
So this is our first Mayor update. We went live today. We're going to do one of these every month just to let you know what's going on and hopefully give you some insight into what's happening in the TenderHood.
Excellent. So Dave, do you think you're brave enough to tell everybody how this got started?
So the business originally was called Beaver Bids.
Right.
That was about 2 years ago, and it lasted about 2 weeks. And that was going to be a full social network for public procurement in Canada. But it definitely, although it wasn't successful, it got me started down that path of looking into machine learning and using technology to solve a problem right now that's being almost solved by humans.
Yeah, and that's something that's important, right? Because businesses, particularly small businesses, time is money, right?
Sure.
And people are expensive. Paying people to do stuff for you is expensive. And so I think you've learned that machine learning can actually really improve the process.
Absolutely. Well, we know that SMEs in the UK are typically 9 employees or less. So
yeah, 90-some% of them are.
Yeah, so they don't have the resource to actually spend all that time looking for tenders, so technology is definitely key.
So Dave, can you explain a little bit about how the use of technology actually makes us different?
Yeah, so we use machine learning for more accurate tender matching. So what I mean by that is we get to know more about the business, and then the more that the supplier tells us and trains their tenders, the more accurate the matches become over time.
So you're saying that basically you deliver tenders that match a profile, and then they can actually go through and make sure that that is what they're looking for?
Exactly. So we call that's the training piece. So the supplier comes in and says, yep, this is a tender that I'm interested in and I feel like my business strategy is matched to, this one's not, and then our technology will actually start to learn from that action.
Well, that actually sounds like Tinder for tenders.
Check out our first blog post.
You know, it's kind of interesting how you and I met on this, because you'd been looking at this for a long time and you'd had 1 or 2 other people involved too, right?
Yeah, I've tried 2 or 3 times to build a team. It's really hard, you know, especially as a side hustle. People have got their own jobs and all that stuff. So, yeah, but we've really settled on a really good 4 of us. You know, we're all self-employed. We all know what it's like to work alone, to be a small business.
Well, and we have different skill sets, right? So,
Definitely.
I mean, I have a marketing background that was helpful. You come from that development and programming area, and we've got Bill and Andy.
Yeah, I mean, Andy is our machine learning guy. He's our Andy bot. You know, we've got an Andy bot app
The inspiration.
named after him. Bill, content guy, you know, he's wrote, 12 books, I think.
Yeah,
He's a
pretty
programmer.
prolific, yeah.
Codes in Python, you know, he's a super smart guy. So yeah, that mixture of personality, mixture of skill sets is how we've built a really cool culture within the business.
So what's interesting is that TenderHood's a lot more than just a tender matching service. There's this whole piece about the social network. What's that?
Yeah, so building the tender matching service alone wasn't enough to help SMEs. You know, they need community, they need somewhere to lean on one another. So the social network is actually where we hope that people start their journey there. That's where we want them to come on board, help each other out, and then they'll use the tender matching service.
Yeah, so the social network is this place, the pub, where you go and connect with people and learn about things that you might need to find more about to get better at your business. I mean, we needed that doing our own startup.
Absolutely.
Finding other people that have done this before, been through it, is really helpful to become more successful at what you do.
Yeah, and I think you don't want any blockers, right? So that's why we have actually made that free. You know, we want people to come on board and just help one another.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any barriers to having you do business.
So, you know, I've worked for a company before where the culture wasn't great. It definitely wasn't fun in the end. And as small businesses, if you don't have that fun element, you're not going to succeed. You definitely need to find a way to wind down, relax, especially now in the current climate. So, Mo can tell you a little bit more, but we've built this rec room for having some fun, and it's obviously a fun concept with a map, the characters Andy bought, but we do seriously want to build a place where people can go and kind of look after themselves.
Well, I think that's the point about, it's the first thing I think you'll find in government procurement where you actually can find a game that you can play that isn't politics. But that's the idea, is that you need to be able to have, the work has to be fun, and we think that plays out with the way that you actually use the TenderHood, and then elements within the TenderHood like the rec room are fun, and we just think having fun and changing the way you do business can happen at the same time.
And I think we're having fun building this business.
Well, you don't know. I don't know. Look at that. Does he look like he's having fun? I know I am.